Fantastic. So like I said, we've got a great lineup for you. And how many of you have heard of laughter yoga, laughing for no reason, or, God forbid, laughter championships? Yeah. Nobody has. Yeah. Well, I have a lot of talents, a couple things that I can't do. I don't juggle. I'm not good at math, but I am the first ever American laughing champion. So, thank you very much. And what's great is that the laughing will, I'm thinking laughter, even if it's fake, will help us feel good and actually find some humor in a lot of situations. So if you would entertain the thought, oh, maybe Roger, would you like to participate in a little laugh-off? Just a mini laugh-off? Round of applause for Roger. Really easy. We're going to show you that we're going to face each other, have a laugh-off, and then maybe you guys will laugh too. But the whole idea is fake laughter evolves into real laughter. So I'm thinking throughout the rest of the evening, use the fake laughter, even if there's times that you don't think it's funny, even though these women are fantastic and hilarious. But here we go. We're going to do this. We're going to point at each other, laugh as if we're funnier, that the other person is funnier than we are. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, laugh off. Okay, everybody, would you like to inhale and exhale for some laughter? Ready? Inhale, and then one more time, inhale, and This is great. This is great. So if it turns out that you hear something that you don't resonate with, just remember this laughter, okay? All right, but I know that you're going to be laughing at these upcoming comedians as well. Our next comedian, Mary Foland, is from this area. She's from McHenry. Raise your hands if you know where McHenry is. About 12 minutes away from here. So she's got some insight on family and raising kids. And if I ever have kids, I'll be listening to her insight as well. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mary Foland.
All that laughing that Julie did is not because she's a laughing champion. Julie drinks. That's right. As Julie said, I am from McHenry, where the town motto is, I'm so sorry. If it doesn't say Gary laying on the back, you probably stole it. We moved to McHenry in 2002, but this metropolitan area is a lot different than my upbringing. I'm the seventh of 9 children, raised on a farm in DeKalb County. And I was raised on a farm with a lot of ducks and chickens, pigs, cattle, that's cows for you city folks, and a sheep named Rastus, which was my brother's FFA project, but I believe later it became Sunday dinner. He had a lot of cats, and when you have a few female cats with loose morals, you end up with 21 cats. Not right. The life on the farm is tough, and not all survive. So we had several dogs over the years, but those only came one at a time. And it was never the kind of dog that I wanted. I grew up, probably as many of you did, watching Bozo Circus. And I always wanted one of those French poodles that they had on some of the acts, and I thought it'd be so cool, the poofy tail and the poofy legs, and I put cute little bows in his hair and his fur. And my mom, I couldn't quite understand her reasoning why a French poodle was not a good dog for farm life. And I'm just guessing it's kind of hard to find a groomer who's willing to take your dog once there's matted manure in his fur. They're such a fruit breed. So we did have dogs, but they were always the dogs that were supposed to be expert herders. However, my dad could never quite train the dog to his full potential. Never saw one guard like an 8-1. But what we did have was a dog who was very good at bringing body parts of dead pigs up to our house as a sign of affection for our family. So every time before a date would come pick me up, I would have to walk the yard to make sure there was no random jawbone or rib cage landing, sitting there to greet them. Yeah. None of you have carcass stories from your childhood, do you? life was simple for us, and we kids were left to make our own entertainment. We would, my younger sister and I would play house a lot, but we would use one of the apple trees as our homes. So I was always Wilma because I was older, and she was always Betty, and we'd have our apple tree houses. So it's kind of like the Flintstones meet the Berenstain Bears. We spent our summers pushing each other in the tire swing, which, if you lived in the country at that time, it was a law that you must have a tire swing. And we spent a lot of time riding our bikes on our gravel road. But we were so desperate for that rare, smooth surface to ride our bike that we actually would ride it in an empty corn bin that was not very wide at all. So we just go round and round and round and round, drop our bikes, throw up, round and round. I'm sure it looked like we were either training for a circus act or to be future Shriners. On one of my city walks on the country road, I came across a big, stray yellow cat, and I mean big. Now, I was only about 5 at the time, and I was not familiar with the term tomcat. So I'm thinking it would be really cool to carry it on my shoulder, kind of like a farm version of Jungle Book's Mowgli. So I called it, "Here, kitty, kitty, here, kitty." "Oh, kitty, why your eyes yellow? Why you foaming at the mouth?" So I raised it up to my shoulder, and as soon as that cat got up there, it wanted down. And it's made its way all the way to the ground by digging its nasty, disease-infected nails into my skin. And it left me there crying my eyes out. Like I said, we made our own fun. Anytime we would go anywhere in a car for all of us to sit in, being such a large family, it was kind of like a human version of Jenga. So first 4 would get in the back seat, then my sister and I would get in looking for a lap to sit on, and my baby brother sat in the front seat on my mom's lap, no car seats, no buckles, nothing. We never took a family vacation, so our highlights were the family reunions that we look forward to each year. One was in June with my dad's side of the family, dozens of aunts and uncles and cousins, and a huge baseball game. And another one was held in the blistering heat of either July or August with my mom's Italian relatives. Now this one we really looked forward to because this was the one day of the year that we kids were allowed to drink as much pop as we wanted. So it became known to us, we actually called it the pop reunion. And all the drinks were kept in an old horse trough that was filled with water and these huge blocks of ice, so the water was bone chilling cold. I'd stick my scrawny arm in there, praying that on my first attempt I would pull out the drink that I wanted so bad. A Green River. My aunts and uncles spent the afternoon playing cards and bocce ball, drinking Schlitz beer, and chain smoking. It was glorious. Now, my mom says that she's 100% Italian, but I'm thinking she's at least a little bit Australian, because when we kids were misbehaving, she could take that slipper off her foot, fling it around the corner, smack us squarely in the butt, and have it boomerang back to her foot, all the while she stood at the sink peeling potatoes. Some other highlights we look forward to were the sandwich fair. Are you guys familiar with the sandwich fair? A big deal, a very big deal. I have vivid memories of my mom carrying our coats in her arm all night for us kids. And I also have a vivid memory of being on the octopus with my younger sister. And his ride had just started and made a couple passes. And all of a sudden it slowed down. And we couldn't figure out what was going on. We soon found out. As the ride neared my mom, she leaned over the railing and said, "Are you girls okay?" We were mortified. We yelled back, "We're fine!" And the ride started up again. However, it's kind of hard to enjoy the rest of the ride once your mom has messed with your preteen swagger. So the ride's over, and we have to walk past the carnival ride operator. Now, normally a guy with 4 inches of butt crack showing does not have the power to intimidate me, but I dropped my head in shame. Contrast that to the year that my mom was sick and we had to go to the fair with my dad, which meant an hour or 2 of going through the entire farm equipment section because one can never see too many tractors or plows. So finally we make it over to the ride, and immediately I want to go on the scrambler. My dad thinks it's too rough for my younger sister, So I get in all by myself, a bony little 8-year-old with very little understanding of the laws of physics. I sit on the inside. I got whipped around that bench seat more than Miley Cyrus's bra on Free Tequila night. And I made the mistake that when it paused to come back, I kept trying to go back to the middle. Bam again. Now here's the difference. If you think my father was worried about me, the difference between my Italian mother and my German father. He's standing over there by the rail with my younger sister going, "You think your sister's okay, half pint?" You learn to be tough. You learn to just rub dirt on it and go on. Another highlight of our childhood was birthday parties. The birthday parties were all held in homes back then. And my sister and I were once invited to a birthday party of a family who was known for being a little rough around the edges. I have a vivid memory of one of the sons once running out to the school bus in the morning, his mom coming after him with ice water the whole way. And that was on a good day. So she finally conceded to let us go to the party. And the highlight, the entertainment, was provided by the birthday boy's older brother. We got lawnmower rides at full speed around their yard. Total Larry Cable Guy. It was, and I know what you're thinking, oh, you poor thing. No, it was backwoods, fabulous. Best childhood party ever. We even got cigarettes in our treat bags. I'm joking. Your kids weren't allowed to use matches. So we got chewing tobacco. I went to a very small grade school in the country. It was only 4 classrooms for grades 1 through 8. We had first and second grade in one room with one teacher, third and fourth grade in another room with one teacher. And it's such an odd thing for my kids in the suburbs to wrap their brain around. I know when I tell stories about my grade school days, they're picturing me walking into class with lace-up boots under my petticoat and a bonnet and a belt tied around my books. There were 7 of us in my 8th grade class the year they shut down the school and we consolidated with a nearby town, also the same town where I went to high school. Now my high school was much bigger. Total enrollment was about 170. I would like to say that I made it all through high school without running into detentions, but that would be a lie. When the teacher asked me why I did the little prank I did that got me the detention, I told her, because it was funny. She said, no, it wasn't. I said, I beg to differ. Well then, maybe you want to go to a bigger school where they have a debate team. Maybe I will. I've been debating about it. Boom! Second detention. So the class that small, and I still couldn't get prom queen or most likely to succeed. I did get class clown. My dad was not thrilled. He said, oh, great. You keep this up, young lady, and you'll be a real comedian one day. So high school's over, now I'm thinking college. And I want to go to a big campus where I'm just going to blend in with the masses and go unnoticed. So there I am, a small town girl, town of 850, now surrounded by 20,000 other students. I was used to autumn breezes blowing the golden wheat, and there I was, building in concrete. I was feeling very much like an Amish girl dropped off on the Vegas Strip. It is our second day there, and I've met some new people, and one of the guys in our groups decides we should go back to his dorm room to drink beer. It was all I could do not to say, but guys, on page 22 of the student handbook, it clearly states that anyone caught with alcohol can or will be expelled from the university. But I said nothing. So we are walking to his dorm, and as we are, we go past my dorm. And I said to my new friend, Linda, I'm going to my room. When the rest of the group noticed that I wasn't with them, she said, oh, I think she misses her boyfriend back home, and she went in to call him. The girl had my back. A lesson in loyalty right from the start. And another lesson, they don't really kick you out of college if you call alcohol. That is not my story to tell. The truth is, I really wasn't much of a drinker in college, and even to this day, I still rarely drink before breakfast. But I think my small town girl, small farm girl image must have at least appealed to one person because I met my husband Doug my sophomore year of school. And we were married 6 weeks after I graduated. And I know what you're thinking. Married so soon after she finished school. Our firstborn she didn't come along until 3.5 years later. So there. Guy in the back just nudged his wife and said, 3.5 years? You thought your pregnancy was long. Thank you.